See, I have a mental disability. She does not. She doesn't need $1 million. What would you do with $1 million? Coach Greg, and today another Q&A. So let's just get right into question number 1. When you were powerlifting, did you coach yourself? How many calories were you eating when you were your heaviest as a powerlifter? 4,500 calories a day was about how many calories I would eat. It varied, of course. I would be as high as 5,000 on some days, 4,000 on another day. And I did at one point hire another coach to coach me for about 6 weeks out of the 20 plus years that I powerlifted. Every time you hire a coach, you learn something new. And from that coach, I learned I should warm up without a belt. So I was warming up with a belt for squats and deadlifts. And from that coach, I began warming up with no belt. So you see, you can always learn something. If you're first starting out, absolutely, a coach will be of huge benefit. And depending on your personality and so on, if you like taking orders from people, if you like thinking about things, you may or may not like having a coach. Batman35 wants to know, does it make difference to train twice a day instead of once, assuming total volume is equal? No, it doesn't really make any difference other than the annoyance of having to go to the gym twice a day. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm tough, I'm better, I'm going to go and train twice a day, no, you're just being an idiot. You're going to the gym twice a day and it's wasting twice as much time. You have to what? Take 2 showers, drive to the gym twice, the whole thing. It is not going to be more beneficial. And in fact, I would argue it's better to get it all done in one go than to have to take pre-workout and get ready and do everything twice. I want to get mentally motivated once a day to go harder than last time, not twice a day. Dear Coach Greg, I want to get a girlfriend, but my wife won't let me. What should I do? Well, it's simple. Don't tell her. Why are you telling her and asking permission? What is wrong with you? Do not tell her. Right, babe?
I can hear you.
I said right, babe. Thomas Yates, maybe it's Dorian Yates' relative. Probably not. What's an acceptable level of soreness to allow me to train a muscle group again? You can train a muscle group no matter how sore it is. It can be so sore you could hardly move. You can still train it again. The real question is, should you train it hard again? No. If you're sore, don't train hard. Don't go harder than last time. If the muscle's sore, you can certainly go and train, but don't go harder than last time. Go easier than last time. If I'm sore, I'm going to go and train my muscle. If I'm sore, I'm doing it. I don't care, but I'm not going harder. You can actually feel better after training a sore muscle, okay? It'll loosen things up, stretch it out, feel better. If you're getting so sore that you're not even sure you should be working out again, you need to train less hard than you're doing already anyway. So go in the gym, go through the motions, and then back off next time and stop getting so sore. Is calisthenics better than weightlifting? Which one should you do when you're a teenager? No, why would it be better than weightlifting? Better for what? Is basketball better than soccer? Do the one that you like, and which one's better depends on your goals and what you want to get out of it. Diageo Coffee wants to know, if you only do one frickin' cycle, it's going to screw up your testosterone levels after that. If you do that one cycle and stop, no, it's not going to screw up your testosterone levels for life. Can it? Sure, it can. Is it going to? Probably freaking not. Okay? Probably not. Is there a chance? There's always a chance. What about your genetic limit? You're still going to be able to hit your genetic limit, okay? Problem is, you're going to do that cycle, you're going to put on a ton of muscle. You're going to go off the cycle and lose half of those gains and hate training and hate your life while you're off cycle. Then you're going to say, I want to go back on cycle again. You're not going to want to do one cycle and just one and then stay natty the rest of your life. You won't. You'll always remember that time when you were on freaking anabolics and feeling like Superman. It sucks. So don't do one cycle. You either go on here and plan to do it the rest of your life, or you don't do it at all. Because trust me, once you start, you will not want to stop. Zebra Boost says, what's your total yearly income, would you guess, for this year? It's much higher than last year. Shadow Gade asks, can I still gain muscles after using a PED? Yes, of course you can. So just imagine, you're using GW or some fat burner clan, and then you stop. Can you gain muscle? Of course you can. And what about if you're taking an anabolic? Well, yes, you can. However, if you're past your genetic limit, then no, you're not going to be able to build muscle after that until a point where you get below your genetic limit. Then you can build up again. So if you took time off or stopped training as hard and then got back into it, you could gain muscle. If you're on PEDs like anabolics or SARMs and you're building muscle and then you stop, for a period of time you're not going to be building muscle. Once that's clearing out of your system, don't expect to make gains till your body gets back to a normal level of testosterone. Jesse James West asks, is Jesse James your best friend? And he also responds with saying, he's asking for a friend. So in fact, no, he's not my best friend. We've only spoken on the phone one time and texted a few times. Best friends would usually do that a lot more often. So if he's in fact my best friend, that's pretty sad. I in fact talk more to Will Tennyson than Jesse James. So you gotta up your game, Jesse James. Up your game. I think Sush writes on my wall more than Jesse James. Come on! Krista Cloud asks, whose physique impressed you the most when you met them? Was there anyone you thought wasn't that impressive looking until you met them? Okay, by far the most impressive physique I ever met compared to what I expected that was more impressive in person than in pictures and so on. Ronnie Coleman, way more impressive than expected. I'd always thought he was big, always thought he was impressive, but when I saw him face to face in that elevator and was like, what is happening? Mind-blowing, game changer. The world was different after that moment. I was like, there's actually human beings that look like this. I expected him to be big, but not that freaking big and shredded with veins the size of my finger. It was just ridiculous. Most people are in fact the opposite. You think of how big they are, then you see them in person, you're like, oh, they're not really as big as I was expecting. They're shorter or whatever. But no, Ronnie Coleman was not disappointing. He was in fact the opposite. Question for Allie. How much money would she quit junk food for a year and enter bodybuilding competition?
Oh man, that's a hard one. $1 million.
There's no way you would quit junk food for a year and enter a bodybuilding contest for $1 million.
Sure.
No.
Just see if I could.
There's more. She would probably for free do the opposite and only eat junk food for a year and not work out for any kind of free money, but not for $1 million. $1 million, you'd have to diet and get shredded, like say 15% body fat. Like you'd have to lose like what, 40 pounds? Think about it. For $1 million. All right, fine. Let's do it. Let's see her take the bet. I'm gonna give her $1 million. She does it. It's on the table right here. You ready? That's $2 million, and you owe me way more than $1 million for what we did about that side bet on the $10,000 a day thing.
Whatever, babe.
Yeah. You owe me $10,000 a day for something. Remember that?
I remember.
That's going to add up pretty fast. 365 days in a year.
It wasn't a thing.
It really was a thing, and you guys don't know what we're talking about. But it would be funny if we said it, but we cannot say it. So the point is, there's no way you would diet to the... There's no way you'd diet to the point of being like a bodybuilder for $1 million. No way.
I would.
No. I'm going to give you $1 million to do it. So let's just do it. For sure. Okay, when do we start? Can we start now? We're starting now. Allie is going to do this for $1 million. It's official. You're all seeing it. Well, I guess you have to put it once it's like posted. Once the video goes live, because it has to be edited, you're going to get $1 million to not eat junk food and enter a bodybuilding contest in a year. But you have to actually enter the contest in a year and not eat junk food. And you get $1 million. So it's here. The offer's on the table. Million. She said she'd do it for $1 million. I said no. I'm right 99.7% of the time. Right, babe? She argues she's right the other percents. No.
What am I getting myself into?
I don't even think you could do it for $10 million. Maybe for $10 million. $1 million?
Maybe, but I've never had $1 million before.
There's no way you've never not eaten junk food for let's be honest, could you do it for a month for $100,000?
Yes.
And enter a competition?
If I really want to do something, I'll do it.
Yeah, hence, you really don't want to do it. That's why you need to be paid. Think of it, I do these contests for free. I get no money, and I starve myself for free. And I've done it 59 times.
You're crazy.
I'm insane. See, I have a mental disability. She does not. She doesn't need $1 million. What would you do with $1 million? Get a G-Wagon, probably.
Probably.
We could buy it. $1 million. Pilot's license and a G-Wagon. What else? And a plane. Don't those things cost like multis, like $10 million? Oh, like a small plane. Not like a commercial plane. We could buy another house for the friggin' animals so they don't wake us up at 6 in the morning and poop and pee in their crates. That'd be good. So there it is. That's the question answered. Question for Greg. What do you think how much muscle you would lose if you stopped HRT and went natty? Oh, yeah, I would probably lose about 15 pounds of muscle. How much do you think I'd lose without my HRT shots that I've been doing every 8 days lately because I'm full forgetting?
You think you'd lose 15 pounds of muscle?
Yeah.
Really?
I was 195.6 this morning, so that put me at like 180. Probably. It's slow. See what would happen is my test levels would slowly plummet to almost zero. I've done it before. I would feel like garbage for several months, and then slowly over the course of a year or two, it would start coming back up. And I'd probably lose maybe even more than 15 pounds of muscle before I'd gain some of it back. You could actually lose more muscle as your test levels are on the way down, and while it's staying down, you're losing muscle like crazy, and then eventually, you hope, your testosterone comes back to normal. I'd be 180 pounds a year from now with less muscle, probably be faster on my bike because I wouldn't have 15 pounds of muscle I'd have to carry around. And I wouldn't feel as good, so I'm not interested in doing that. So yeah, had I never done testosterone my whole life, I'd probably be walking around right now 180. That's my guess. Moose Walla Sidhu says, how hard do you have to diet to actually lose love handles? You literally don't have to diet hard to do that. You have to diet long enough for that to happen. It's not how hard. Oh, I'm only dieting half-assed, so I'm not going to lose my love handles. I'm dieting all out so hard. Oh, it magically starts coming from your love handles. No, it's how long you diet. So long as you're in a calorie deficit, you're going to lose fat. Eventually, that fat will come from your love handles. Might not be the first place to go, might be the last. Eventually it will happen. So if you diet 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or whatever, eventually love handles, they be gone. Hope you learned something from these Q&As. GregDoucette.com for coaching, Greg Doucette IP Pro. Blue put up 2 videos. Only watch the bottom one. Do not, I repeat, do not watch the top one. And until next time, I am out. Somebody wrote, Allie cannot be bought. Greg already answered.